Just imagine being able to check your room temperature and humidity with just few simple components. I will walk you through everything step by step, from the setup to uploading the code to even explaining how the sensors actually work. And everything's happening in this video right here in Pelox Industries. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to build a simple but useful project, a temperature and humidity monitor system using an Arduino Uno. This project is perfect if you want to measure the weather in your room, greenhouse, or even just learn how sensors works. So let's get started. For this project, we're going to need a breadboard, that's to wire all the components together. We're going to need the Arduino Uno, that's where we're going to upload the code. We're also going to need the sensor. This is the humidity or temperature sensor. And we're going to need some jumper wires. Before we start wiring all the components together, I think we should have a good understanding of how each component works. So this little blue component is called an humidity and temperature sensor, also known as the DHT11. There's actually another one called DHT12 Sensor, but we're not going to be using that one on this project. We're going to be using this one. So what's the work of this tiny component? This simply measures the humidity and the temperature of your room. That's actually mad for this little component to measure the humidity and temperature of your room. And I'm going to explain how it is able to measure the humidity and temperature of your room. So under this blue shell, there are two main parts. There's a thermistor and the second one is an humidity sensor, right? So what's the work of the thermistor? The thermistor changes its electric resistance depending on the temperature. If the temperature is cold, it changes its electric resistance. If the temperature is hot, it changes its electric resistance. So the second one, which is the humidity sensor, this has two tiny electrodes, and when there's water vapor in the air, it changes how electricity passes in between those electrodes. So how does the Arduino know the temperature the sensor is reading? This is how it basically works. The sensor combines the information and sends it as digital data. That way, the Arduino can process that data and display it on your serial monitor. I think that's enough explanation for the humidity and temperature sensor. So this component is called the Arduino Uno. I know many of us know these components, but for some of us that doesn't know, this is called the Arduino Uno. So there are different types of Arduinos. There's Arduino Nano and so much more, but for this project we're going to be using the Arduino Uno. So this Arduino we're looking at is like the brain. It's just like the brain. Just think of it like a small computer that can read data of sensor and other components. For example, in this project, the Arduino will read the temperature and the humidity from the DHT sensor, right? Then we can display it on the serial monitor of the Arduino sensor, of the Arduino software, I mean. To connect everything, we're going to be using a breadboard. What does this breadboard do? Think of it like a Lego base plate for electronics. Instead of soldering, you just plug in parts. You can plug in your jumper wire, your sensor, and any other component you want to plug in to the breadboard. And finally, we have the jumper wires. This simply connects the components in the breadboard to the Arduino Uno. For example, if you want to connect the humidity and temperature sensor, you're going to take one jumper wire and you're going to plug in the roll of where the humidity sensor is plugged in the breadboard. Then you're going to take the second end of the jumper wire and plug it, let's say pin 13. Now that we have a good understanding of how every component we're going to use on this project works, now we can move to the next step, which is the setup. If you take a close look at this setup, you're going to see that in the DHT sensor, the pin at the right hand side is going to the ground wire, is going to ground pin in the Arduino, and the second pin, we are not going to plug it in anything. Then we're going to move to the third pin, which is the one with the red jumper wire. That one is going to the digital pin 2, and the last pin in the left hand side of the DHT sensor is going to the 5 volts on the Arduino. So this is my setup. As you can see, it's basically the same thing with the one you just saw. So I'm going to be plugging the Arduino now to the system and uploading some code. But before we upload the code, I'm going to explain a little bit about the code. The first set of code before the void loop Those one is just for including the DHT and dividing pins. So the void loop is more for the serial monitor. As you can see, you see serial dots begin 9600. That's for the serial monitor, so it can start the serial monitor, so we can actually see readings on our computer. The serial dots printing just prints a welcome message when you open the serial monitor. In this case, it's going to print DHT11 temperature and humidity. If your code doesn't upload once like mine, and it's writing no such file or directory, that's just because you haven't downloaded the library. So this is what we're going to do now. We're going to go to Sketch, then include libraries, then manage libraries. Then we're going to search for DHT sensor library by Adafruit. Once you have downloaded that, the code should upload without any error, just like mine. Let's check our serial monitor if it is working. Yes, as you can see, that's the welcome message. Then it's going to printing in the temperature and humidity. So the humidity of this room presently is 95% and the temperature is 27 degrees Celsius. And that's it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you check out my other creations like the BMW M8 competition made out of cardboard and the Dodge Challenger, and you can check out my other Arduino projects. I post new projects every week, so if you did like to learn more and build with me, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our next project. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next project.